be doing a deck review on a Sk8rats deck. I'm going to start off with the shape. The shape, when I reshaped it, I sanded it to make it pointy because that's what I like. But the tail, when I got it, it was a little bit more rounded, not a whole lot more, but a little bit more than what it is. The nose actually had a little bit of a square shape to it. It was out to about there and out to about there. So I sanded it down quite a bit on the nose. The kick height is medium. And the concave is also medium and stepped. The rocker is not real sharp and it's not real drawn out. The maple of this deck, the maple was rather dry. Very much so. What it is with a dry maple is you get the feel of a really, really crisp pop. But some people, though, they actually like a soggy feel, so would want more of a wet deck, like that's really flexy. But this one was really stiff. This deck was real stiff, really crisp when I would pop. But the downside to having a dry deck is chips very, very easily. That chip is actually beyond repair of what I can do with shoe goo, because that's what I always glue my chips down with. Once I glue a chip down with shoe goo, it never comes back up. Actually, there was a chip on this chip. There was a chip on the chip, I kid you not, that I actually used shoe goo on. The shoe goo is in there holding those two plies together. It never came undone again. It's on this part that my fingers are on. And it chipped below that, the ply right below it. And, oh wow. Actually, if I pull this back, the part that's shoe gooed on is, see how you have that red ply and then you have a natural maple ply? That natural maple ply is actually, that's what has the shoe goo on it. And that never came off. And it chipped below it really epically. I skated this deck quite a bit on the driveway, and it razored rather slowly. Like I skated it for about 3 or 4 weeks, and it razored rather slow, like it didn't even fully square off, sadly, because that means I could have skated it more, but no, it chipped really badly, really easily, and I couldn't repair that, and that would just drive me absolutely loony. I can't stand chips. But something I'm very surprised about the deck is the fact that it's a dry deck, but I didn't get any pressure cracks. I don't know how I managed to not get pressure cracks on a dry deck. I do not know. They would get pressure cracks like crazy when they're dry for me. But this one didn't at all. Strength-wise, I think it would snap very, very easily. But I land really light, and it's very rare for me to snap a deck. So, that's really about it. And that's because of the dry maple. That and the epoxy. I think this deck they probably use a hot press. Because what happens in a hot press is that heat can actually cause a little bit of steam. And that steam can actually could actually cause the epoxy to be tampered a little bit. And that would cause it not to stick as good, and that's what happened. That's how you get D-lams and everything like that. And that's why cold presses are better, but I'm pretty sure they use a hot press on this deck. I'm pretty sure they do. That's actually what a majority of them use is hot press, because you can get so many decks out real quick with a hot press. When a cold press takes longer, but the cold press is a better quality of epoxy for sure. But back to this deck, if you like really, really crisp pop, and say that chips don't bother you and you land really light and you rarely snap decks, I would recommend trying a Sk8rats deck for sure. So if those are your preferences, and this video sounds like the way I'm describing this deck fits your preferences, I would definitely recommend trying one. Overall, I think it's a great deck. It just chips very easily, and that's really about it.